Moment of silent meditation. Could I ask each of you to think of Howard Needle and the Needle family? Howard passed away last week, and Howard was a real pioneer in Baltimore County. He was a delegate for 2 terms. He also he had the courage to run for county executive. And Howard was, if anybody's on the west side and rides the Metro or thinks of 795, Howard was instrumental in getting those 2 modern at the time transportation lines in place for Northwest, for Owings Mills and other parts of the county. So if we could just take a moment to think about the Needle family and others that we love. Now I will call on Council Member Catch, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, enrollment of the bills.
Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to say a few words about Howard Needle.
Oh, absolutely, Councilman Catch.
I served in the legislature with Howard Needle. His second term was my first term, and it was a real honor to serve with him. He was an individual who believed in government reform, opening government up, making it transparent. And, I really thank him for that, because the legislature is much better now because of some of the things that Howard did. So I wasn't aware that he had passed.
Thank you, Councilman Catch. And I just wanted to add 2 other things about Howard. In his legal profession, he practiced as a civil rights attorney, and I think there's something to be said for that. And I was remiss in not acknowledging Howard's extraordinary role in the Pikesville Armory. He was one of the lead visionaries on it, if not the primary vision on that. And so if you think about what Howard has accomplished between 795, the Metro, the Pikesville Armory, being a civil rights attorney, and all these other spectacular things, we really lost a good one in terms of someone who has shaped Baltimore County into what we see today. So we're all going to miss Howard, and thank you, Councilman Catch. So with that, let's do the enrollment of bills. Bill 123, 10123, 10223, and 10323 were passed and signed by the council, by the executive, and are hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, will we now read all bills for introduction?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Before we proceed to that, there is also the matter of approving the journal.
Thank you. Jumped ahead. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of January 16th?
Motion. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. There are 2 matters for introduction this evening. First is Bill 4-24, sponsored by Councilman Catch. Zoning regulations, signs, portable signs, and Bill 5-24, sponsored by Councilman Marks, zoning regulations, capping residential growth in Greenlee, both for introduction only this evening.
Thank you. Let's first consider appointment confirmations. This is one that I'm excited about. Mr. Secretary, could you talk about the first appointment?
Yes, sir. The only appointment this evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, is the Councilman Crandall's nomination to the Fair Election Fund Commission of Mr. Clarence Bud Staggerwald, Jr.
Mr. Chairman, council members, and guests, it's good to be here again this evening with you. Thank you for allowing me to be back here in the chambers with you tonight. I look forward to this vote that's going to happen tonight. I'm very honored to be placed in consideration for it. I'm excited to work yet in another capacity for Baltimore County. and to serve on this new commission to the best of my ability. I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce my better half tonight. I was telling you last week, Mr. Chairman, that she keeps me on my A game. So my wife is with me tonight, Debbie Staggerwald. I'd like to recognize her.
Thank you, Mr. Staggerwald. And I'm going to repeat my comments from the work session. I worked with Debbie in the governor's office for a number of years, and Debbie was a high-level professional, terrific to work with. And I said, if you're okay with Debbie, then you're okay with me. You're going to get my vote.
Thank you, sir. They're hard shoes to fill.
Do any of the members have any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Crandall.
Sure. As I said in the work session, if you've had a chance to review Mr. Staggerwald's resume, he is particularly well suited to this commission, having been involved in politics and campaigns, and both in his professional career and in his service to various nonprofits, including the Volunteer Fire Company Association in Baltimore County, North Point Edgemere Volunteer Fire Company. He has been in charge of finances for organizations like those and more. So I think his breadth of knowledge and experience in that area will serve us well in Baltimore County. And with those kind words, I do have to say that we all kind of know who the real star in the Staggerwald family is, and she's joined us tonight. Debbie, it's always great to see you. Thanks for making the trip up to join your husband this evening, and thanks for giving him permission to serve as a volunteer once again.
Well, we support each other in all our endeavors, and without her support, I couldn't be doing what I do, and we work well together.
And I know this to be true, and the Staggerwald family has just a long, long history of community service, and this is just an extension of that. So I appreciate you both. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Crandall. Do any of the members have any other comments, questions, or thoughts they'd like to share? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move the nomination.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Catch? Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
about the delay
Mr.
there.
Chairman, Council, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Congratulations to the Staggerwald family.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll now move on to the final reading and vote of bills. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
We have one bill for final reading and vote, Mr. Chairman. That is Bill 1-24, sponsored by Councilman Catch. Zoning regulations, uses permitted in the business major and manufacturing light zones, residential uses in Hunt Valley.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the members?
Mr. Chairman?
Councilman Catch, I understand you might wish to make a motion to extend the bill?
Yes, I am working with the administration on this legislation and would like to extend the bill for another couple weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Catch. Any thoughts, comments, or questions for Councilman Catch? Hearing
Was that a motion?
Yes.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Okay, the council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on January 30th, 2024. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. I'll call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 14.
Fiscal matter 1 is a contract with Airbus Helicopters. Fiscal matter 2 is an amendment to a contract with Whitmer Public Safety Group Incorporated. Fiscal matter 3 is a contract with Keypoint Health Services. And fiscal matter 4 is 2 contracts for on-call structural engineering design services.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Any questions, comments, or thoughts from the members? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I'll motion to approve it.
Second. Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Okay, the motion is approved to extend. I'm sorry, on fiscal matters. Okay. Now we'll consider the remainder of miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item.
First, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, is Resolution 4-24. This is a resolution sponsored by all the council members and would authorize or would approve the adoption of the Master Plan 2030.
Okay, thank you. Based on the discussion at last week's work session and on behalf of my colleagues, the council is deferring Resolution 4-24 for additional review and discussion. The resolution will be deferred until the work session on February 13th and the legislative session on February 20th. So I'm just going to repeat it. The resolution will defer the work session until February 13th and the legislative session until February 20th. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Okay, hearing none, the resolution 424 is deferred. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 5-24. This resolution would authorize the extension of sanitary sewer system of Baltimore County in the Middle River area.
Okay, this is another one based on the discussion and really the compelling testimony we heard at last week's work session. On behalf of my colleagues, the council is deferring Resolution 5-24. I hope that during the deferral period that the administration can consult with the council and the affected property owners and look at a solution that will work for everyone. Are there any comments or questions from the members? Okay, Resolution 5-24 is deferred. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 6-24. This is a resolution sponsored by council members Young, Marks, Crandall, Patoka, and Jones. This would approve amending the council rules of procedure for the county council for introduction only this evening.
Okay. On the question posed by the Secretary, are there any questions or comments from the members?
Before we get there, Mr. Chairman, you want me to go on to the next item?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman and members of the council, at the work session last week, the council discussed postponing consideration of Bill 3-24, the mixed use bill, until after the council had adopted the 2030 master plan. Now that the council has deferred Resolution 4-24 to adopt the master plan until February 13th work session and the February 20th legislative session, does the council wish to consider a motion to suspend the rules to bring Bill 3-24 forward this evening in order to consider a motion to extend Bill 3-24 to after the master plan adoption? Currently, Bill 3-24 is on the same schedule as Resolution 4-24. If the council wishes to have Bill 3-24 heard after the master plan adoption, the bill would need to be extended.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. So I think, as Secretary said, we thought that this 324 should follow the actions of the master plan since they're related to one another. And right now, we don't have an adopted master plan. We hope to sometime in the near future. And so at that time, we'll consider 324. Any comments or questions from the members?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Crandall?
Just a matter of timing, Mr. Secretary. Are we setting a date for work session and legislative session for 324 at this time? Or we're waiting until adoption of the master plan to put it on a future date that we don't know yet?
I believe we can state the schedule, Mr. Crandall, because as the chairman indicated, the The deferred resolution 424 to adopt the master plan has been set for the February 13th, which is next week, work session, and then the vote on that on February 20th. If Bill 3-24 is extended, the work session would be February 27th and a March 4th legislative session.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
And Mr. Secretary, with that schedule, are we still within the legal time constraints of passing a bill?
Yes, sir.
resolution.
Still within the 65 days.
Okay. Okay, are there any other questions, comments, or thoughts from any of the members?
No.
Okay, on the question, okay. Is there a motion to suspend the rules to bring 324 forward this evening?
So move.
Okay, the motion to take the roll, Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Catch? Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Okay, suspending the rules is passed. Any questions or comments on extending Bill 3-24 until after the adoption of the 2030 master plan? Councilman Crandall? No, okay. Is there a motion?
So move.
I'll second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Catch? Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to extend the bill is passed. And Mr. Secretary, could you just repeat the schedule that you mentioned earlier so that we all have it in our minds and we can write it down this time?
Yes, sir. So just to summarize quickly, with this action, the council deferred resolution 4-24, that is the adoption of the 2030 master plan. That schedule is work session next Tuesday, February 13th at 4 p.m., followed by the legislative session for a potential vote on Tuesday, February 20th at 6 p.m. By its action on Bill 324 this evening, the council suspended the rules to bring up Bill 324 this evening just for the purpose of considering a motion to extend the bill. The council did so unanimously on both counts. So Bill 3-24 will not be considered on February 13th or voted on February 20th. It is being extended from those dates and will be considered at the work session on February 27th at 4 p.m. and the vote on March the 4th at 6 p.m. at the legislative session.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion is approved. Meeting's adjourned. Okay, as is customary, anyone who's registered to speak online prior to the meeting is allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. Ms. Belcastro, are there any speakers signed up this evening?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have some speakers. Our first speaker is Mark Weaver, who is here in person.
Right up here, Mark. Good to see you.
Thank you. I'm here to speak in favor of requiring new buildings in the county to be electric only. I understand that will come up in consideration pretty soon here. The more gas lines we put in the ground, the more our use of carbon dioxide and our release of carbon dioxide is locked in for the future. And this is about the future. I mean, it's maybe thinking a little farther ahead than we're used to. And this is up to you as the legislative body of the county. The courts have to look to the past, precedent and so forth. The executive, the county executive, is caught in the present, literally putting out fires sometimes. It's up to you guys to look to the future, and it can be uncomfortable, I understand. I'm a tradesman, I'm a carpenter, and folks like me are suspicious of change. Gas is a devil we know. We've all cooked with it. It's easy, we're used to it, and it's familiar, but it gives us more asthma, more cancer, more carbon monoxide, more carbon dioxide, which is warming the planet, and more methane in the form of leaks. And methane is much worse as a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide is, much worse. Requiring only electric for new buildings and no gas will, number one, save builders money up front. It's cheaper to not run a gas line. It will level the playing field within the county so that those builders who are doing what I believe is the right thing will not suffer financially, at least not within the county, in competition. As long as we don't have exemptions to it, it's very simple. It's good regulation because it's easy to understand. If we put exemptions in it, as I know has been proposed for, say, a gas range, you're laying the pipe. The damage is kind of done. Once you lay that pipe, that's the hard part. So not doing that is much, much better. So it's healthier, it's safer, it's more planet friendly for the future. Again, that's what this is about. And it's cheaper. So I think it's a great idea, and I hope you will take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Any questions, comments from Mr. Weaver? Okay, thanks again, Mr. Weaver. Our next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly. And I apologize if I do not pronounce his name correctly. It's Thomas Potteraj. Very close. Who is here in person?
Poteray.
French.
Hello, thank you. Once again, my name is Thomas Poteray. I thank the council for allowing me this time to speak. I'm a resident of Catonsville, and I'm also here to talk in support of the all-new, the all-electric bill for new construction in Baltimore County. With that said, I must admit that 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to switch from gas to electric in my own home, and I did not do so. My heat pump, which was part of a dual fuel system, had failed, and I spoke with multiple contractors and was told that because of COVID, it would be months before I could get replacement parts. So I had to go with a new system. I was given the impression that the complexity of my high-performance system was ultimately the reason why it failed at an early age. Therefore, I opted to go with a single-stage AC system coupled with a gas furnace. The installers that I finally chose did a great job and installed quality equipment. However, whenever I hear the gas go on, I'm reminded that I made a poor decision, and here's why. My old system didn't die because it was too complex. It died because of a broken refrigerant line that ironically had gotten broken in a storm that had washed away soil from the base of the unit. The same thing would have happened with a simple single-stage unit. I purchased a unit that will last for at least another decade. During this time, it will be using fossil fuels instead of renewable energy that would be available through an electric distribution system. Had I educated myself about options that were available with electric-only heating, I would have been more comfortable switching to such a system on short notice when my existing system had failed. However, since I already had a gas furnace, I decided to replace it with similar technology. Many of the HVAC contractors that I had asked seemed to reinforce this idea. I'm now concerned that the installation of gas systems is the beginning of a never-ending loop, where gas heating units are replaced in kind, unless the homeowner has the foresight and the gumption where I did not. If I already had electric heating, this would have been a no-brainer. Therefore, I am in favor of all electric heating in new construction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poteray. Any questions, comments? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Didn't I see you cooking with charcoal at a Southwood?
Yes, I did.
I did, okay.
Yes.
It was really good, too.
But there were vegetarian patties.
Okay.
Good to see you, Tom.
Good one, Tom. Okay, Ms. Belcastro.
Our next
Any other speakers?
Sure. Our next speaker is Michael Sapiniak, who is virtual. Mr. Sapiniak, you may unmute yourself and begin your testimony.
Thank you very much. So twice already, I've provided testimony in support of the master plan. And both times I spoke to the need for adding more households to the county so that we could better afford to maintain and expand our infrastructure. And again, I'd like to testify in support, but this time from a different angle. So in listening to concerns raised about Master Plan 2030, I've heard pushback to the plan's promotion of urban development in what is mostly a suburban county. So the concerns are spoken to in such a way that the concept of urbanization is somewhat viewed as being intolerable. But the densification of our land use and development patterns, it's really the natural order of things. As a place matures over the course of time, it develops amenities and characteristics that draw in more and more people. That attraction results in property values appreciating. But of course, there's a limit to how much people are able to pay for where they live and do business. So this causes landlords to redevelop their properties such that more people can fit into the same parcels of land, which lowers the cost of entry into that in-demand place. So the cost per square foot keeps increasing somewhat, but the total amount of available square feet keeps increasing as well. So, what should this look like? Well, it would be single family homes, adding on accessory dwelling units or becoming duplexes becoming triplexes or townhouses or small apartment buildings incrementally growing in size. This is how densification is supposed to work, but really we've kneecapped this natural and ancient process over the course of the past 70 plus years, really with exclusionary zoning. So for the most part, all of the single family homes built across the landscape of Baltimore County have never evolved along to their next logical increment. We've really prevented densification artificially. We have done this, and yet the demand has kept building. So it's been going on for so long that we've all come to believe that this is the natural order of things, perpetual, unchanging, low density suburbia. But it isn't really natural at all. In fact, it's unhealthy and unsustainable. So too many people, I feel, are clinging to really an outdated, unhealthy vision of Baltimore County that forbids density or urbanization. And please understand the fundamentals. The population of Baltimore County is greater than that of 4 US states. It doesn't fall all that much shy of the population of Rhode Island. In fact, the population density of Baltimore County, which is about 1,400 people per square mile, that significantly exceeds that of Rhode Island, the state. And Rhode Island has Providence. Baltimore County's biggest pocket of urbanization right now is Towson. So I really think we just need to take a step back, understand what Baltimore County is and where it really should be going. And I encourage you, please embrace the master plan and let the county's residents know where growth and density is going to be allowed and embraced so they can plan for and sort themselves accordingly. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Mr. Sapiniak? Okay. Thanks, Mr. Sapiniak. Ms. Belcastro, next speaker, please.
Our next speaker is Patricia Fallon, who is virtual for some reason. Mr. Chair, for some reason I cannot, she is on our attendee list twice. I cannot make her a panelist or unmute her. I'm not sure how she's on the meeting.
Do you want to go to Mr. Kern? And,
Certainly.
And then we'll come
Our
back.
speaker after that is Wayne Kern. Mr. Kern, you are on as a panelist. You may unmute yourself and begin your testimony.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm against Bill 3-24. Sorry, my eyes are on to go to that. That's 5. The 3. This basically says that developers can build any affordable housing, even high density, within 1 mile of the light rail, metro, subway, or other heavy rail in the state. So it's without regard for having adequate public facilities, without regard our already overcrowded schools, without regard to what the existing zoning is, without regard to what our local county council zoning authority says, without any public input. And developments may not be stopped for any of the reasons above. That's all my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Kern. Do any of the members have any questions, comments, or thoughts they'd like to share with Mr. Kern? Okay, thank you. Ms. Belcastro, were you able to find Ms. Fallon?
I'm still unable to unmute her or move her in as a panelist. I have sent her a message in the chat.
Okay. Are there any other speakers?
She's the last speaker this evening.
Okay, let me just acknowledge we have President of Local 1311, John Sabiga here. Mr. Sabiga, do you want to address the council, or are you just here to? Okay, just thank you for attending, Mr. Sabiga. I know you have a really busy schedule being pulled everywhere, and I appreciate you coming here. Okay, let's give maybe 30 more seconds for Ms. Fallon, and if not, we'll invite her to come back at the next legislative session to speak. Any of the members have any questions, comments, or final thoughts before we conclude? Okay, thank you. Good job. I got distracted for a point and I got to go apologize.